Hey there, everyone, and welcome to the video for Aquarius for 2025. In this video, I'm going to be going through the major outer planetary movements for next year, being 2025, and helping you navigate this brand new terrain that we are all moving through. What's unique about the energy of 2025 is that we have planets Uranus, Neptune, and Saturn moving into new signs, then coming back into their old signs. So we are having a little bit of a sort of a dress rehearsal, I guess you could say, in 2025. Before we get there, I'd just love to make a quick announcement. And in November of 2024, so on the 23rd of November, I am offering or running a 1 day in-person workshop on the astrology of 2025. And that's happening here in Brisbane. So if you are in Brisbane or you can get here, I'd love to see you. We're going to be talking all the astrology of next year. Then hopefully afterwards, maybe a dinner and a drink, which would be a lot of fun and making some new astrology friends within the group. So I'll pop a link below where you can find out more details about that. And if you could make it, it would be great to see you there. So let us move on to what is happening next year for Aquarius, a bit of a bird's eye overview. All right, there's no prizes for guessing what most Aquarians are going to be most concerned about, and that is Pluto taking up permanent residence in your first house for the next 20 years. You've had a bit of a dress rehearsal for that from March of 2023. Pluto's been going in and out of your sign, but as of November of 2024, it stays there permanently. So as far as 2025 is concerned, nothing changes in the first house department. Your ruling planet, which is Saturn, does change signs. It moves from Pisces into Aries, as does Neptune. So two major cycles in Pisces and your second house of money move into your third house. So you're going to get a preview of Saturn's best part of 3 year cycle, and then Neptune, an introduction to a 14-year cycle. Uranus exits Taurus for Gemini and your fifth house. Again, an introduction into what the next 7 years are going to bring for you or to you in terms of happiness, joy, romance, and children. And of course, Jupiter is sort of taking a little bit of a background influence in the second half of the year when it moves into Cancer. Alrighty, so that's where all the planets are heading. It's all in the lower part of the horoscope. And so that sort of southern part tends to be a little bit more personal, a little bit more introspective, and a bit more what's happening in sort of your inner world as opposed to what you're achieving, what you're doing, and what is visible. So much of the change, much of the growth is all going to sort of stem from within you. So, Pluto in Aquarius, that's the big one. My recommendation for this cycle, which is now going to be permanent, or 20 years permanent, is all of those inklings, all of those things that you woulda, coulda, shoulda since 2023, start making it happen now. Act on them. So this is your time to embrace change, and not just change, but a change that really leads to a transformation, something being actually really different about who you are at a very fundamental level. So this could be a lot of things. Letting go of what you think should happen or what should be, and starting to embrace concepts like could or maybe. And I know that's a little hard being Aquarius rising because, hey, you're fixed. And this Pluto transit is really going to prompt you to let go of various ideologies about who you think you are, or any ideologies that you have overly identified with, right, wrong, or indifferent. Now, that might be that desire to actually fit in, but yet also to shine in your own right. What I would recommend for all Aquarius risings to start really embodying is the idea of you were born an original, so don't be a copy. Okay, because at the moment, that's kind of the vibe, right? And you're not born that way. So do be different, do embrace it. As I said, start thinking about the could as opposed to the should. Now, Pluto isn't, a path of rose petals and, violins playing for you. So things are going to happen. Things are going to be hard, heavy at times. So when you do reach that, I mean, that may not happen next year for some Aquarius risings. It's going to depend somewhat on how Pluto interacts and makes aspects with other areas of your birth chart. But start embracing the concept of, instead of asking why things have happened to me, start saying to yourself, this is happening for me. And so acceptance is the first step in real change and real transformation. Now, you're also going to have a little bit of additional help in that department in 2023. And that's thanks to your patron planet, Saturn, changing signs. So it's going to help you between the 25th of May and September 1, and it's going to move into the sign of Aries and your third house. So this is going to give you some reprieve from money stuff and start to ask you or demand from you, hey, it's Saturn, start demanding from you that you explore new areas of personal interest. The third house, to my mind anyway, is a real interesting house because it can really promote self-development. It's an inferior sextile, but hey, it does sextile back to the ascendant. And so there is a supportive component to what Saturn has to offer between May and September. So this may be self-development, a commitment to learning, a commitment to personal growth, a new commitment to communicating better or more effectively. And this can also help you develop a new mindset. Now, I think that the worst thing you could say to yourself in 2025 is when presented with some information or presented with an idea, if you turn around and go, oh, I know, then you've closed down any chance of learning, exploring, developing, and growing. So the words I know will probably be your greatest enemy in 2025. So you want to try and diffuse that. And of course, Neptune will help with that. Neptune is going to leave Pisces and come into Aries between March 30, October 22. So this, instead of saying, I know, Saturn, start asking yourself, what if? Okay, what if it could be this? What if it could be that? It's a massive contrast between probabilities, Saturn, and possibilities, Neptune. And that's what you really want to be starting uh, to invite into your world. You know, the world becomes subliminally ridiculous when you can explore the idea of what ifs. Now, so this, rather than commitment and being really rigid in things, Neptune's going to help you dissolve into new possibilities. And so things are going to feel a little scary, a little intangible, a little loss of control. And that's okay. That's what you're going to be invited to do in 2025. So be open to explore what may have at one stage been unimaginable for you. So you don't have to commit to anything next year. This is the point. This is the point of these introductory cycles. You'll be doing yourself a disservice as you move forward if you think that 2025 is just going to be another year of same, but different. It's going to be different everywhere, every which way that you look at that. So just start rolling with it now. It's going to be in your best interest. And, to be honest, you've already had a fair whack of Pluto in Aquarius. So, as I said at the beginning, those inklings, those feelings that, if you're a Tool fan, I hope you are because you'll get the joke. But there's a song from Tool who also features the wonderful Henry Rollins. And it's called Undertow. And that's what Pluto does. It drags you down. And it's scary down there. You lose control. Everything feels like it's slipping from grasp. But once you come back up again, you're stronger than you were before, as cliched as that all is. So maybe in the immortal words of Henry Rollins, this is also going to be a time to expand your threshold of pain. And that pain for you, Aquarius, is going to be change, to morph from the I know to the what if. Okay, that's your great pain threshold expander for you. It's all up here, right? Now, so as I said, you don't have to commit in 2025, but you will do yourself a massive favor if you start to explore some of these ideas that I'm sharing, and I'm sure they're not coming as a surprise anyhow. Money. Okay, money and cash is going to hopefully by now, because you've had Saturn in Pisces since early 2023, you've had Neptune since 2011, but hopefully Saturn in the last couple of years have offered you a more mature approach to money. Hopefully you've taken money more seriously and undergone some type of financial restructure. If you haven't yet, that's okay. You'll have between May 25 and September 1. And again, from the 14th of February, from September 1 through to the 14th of February, to start to get things right. Okay, so get your structures, your systems, any financial fine tuning that you need to put in place. Like, it's not too late. So you might find that in 2025, you'll start to, as Saturn's weight comes off a little bit, you'll figure out what you have to do. And so those time frames could also reveal that you're in a better situation than you expected or than what you thought. Now, another big financial cycle also winds down, and that is happening from in between March and October, and that is Neptune exiting Pisces through into Aries. And that's going to give you a break from a cycle that's been in play since 2011. So since 2011, for the most part, money may have felt a little bit elusive. It may not have been as structured as you might like it to be. It might have had a little bit of a ebb and flow feel to it. So decisions and directions about cash may be easier to make when Saturn and Neptune both aren't there next year. When they come back, that's your opportunity to fully commit to a financial dream and take your financial life, by the hands. It's one thing to dream, imagine, and whether you say all the mantras or do the manifestation work and stuff like that. But ultimately, you have to create the vessel from which all of those dreams will manifest through. So if you've had these dreams or desires or ideas just sort of floating around when it comes to money, you do have some chances still before these cycles end for good to, commit to the dream, make it happen, that desire or the dream of some kind of financial control in your life. So it's taking the reins with that. Also, another cycle with money that I'm kind of excited about for you is the North Node arriving in Pisces from January 12, staying for 18 months. What I've noticed is when this cycle happens, the node comes through your second house, it can really amplify, turn the dial up on a new financial cycle. So you might find that there's this sort of bigness or amplification or slight, like this growth that takes place when it comes to cash. So there's this really weird, conflicting energies. It's just that when you take a little bit of control, bring a little bit of structure, but still dream and create and imagine, that's where the magic happens. So there's that as far as money's concerned. Now, when it comes to happiness, joy, and that sort of stuff, you're going to get more. Actually, no, I'm going to quit that. Home. Before I get onto the happiness stuff, home. You're going to find more stability on the home front as Uranus leaves Taurus and your fourth house, which has been there since 2018. So between July and November, all of a sudden, life at home is not going to feel as chaotic, not as changeable, and you'll get that sense, wow, things are feeling just that little bit stable again. It's only going to be a brief reprieve, but it is going to give you a sense of, okay, what changes do I need to make that are really authentic for me at home? So this break from chaos and change, um, between July and November will feel good, but before July and after November, it will sort of be that return to chaos. So even though you're getting a reprieve from it, you'll also know, well, I'm still not done. There's still more to come. Okay, so it's almost don't rest on your laurels between July and November. So what you're going to be asked to do is really consider, what does an authentic home life, domestic life, family life mean for you? For some people, it might be about the postcode, the real estate deal, the four walls of which you live in. If you're in a part of town that doesn't feel good for you, you might need to move. If you are doing real estate deals and you sort of think, oh, why am I doing this? Maybe you'll change your mind about that. Maybe it's the people you live with, the people you share space with, the family you have, the spouse you have, the children you have, like all of, not that we could really choose, can't really change that too much, but there is going to be a sense of chaos and flux. Maybe you're going to have to make changes on the home front to accommodate family members you didn't anticipate. This could be parents, relatives, stepchildren, lots of things. Now, for some Aquarius risings, there may be this realization that maybe you need more freedom from commitment than what you currently have. This might mean, for example, if you are separating from somebody and that reduction in domestic responsibilities, maybe changing circumstances on the home front. So some people are going to want freedom from what might make them feel stuck in a family situation. So some might need freedom and independence from that. For others, it might be taking on more responsibility. With Uranus, you've got to think about it like this. A lot of people always just think, oh, it's going to be disruptive, it's going to be changeable, and it will do that. But if your home life is already chaotic as, crazy chaotic, Uranus is going to bring stability. If stability is driving you mad, well, Uranus is going to change all that. So whatever your current status quo is, that is what's going to change. So whatever your home life, whatever you want from it, you have a chance to find it this year in 2025. Now, relationships. Relationships are going to have a bit of a stop-start feel. November, December of 2024, Mars comes into your seventh house. It'll start a retrograde phase, and then it won't come back to your seventh house until April 18 through to June 17. So second chances from missed opportunities or a second chance to readdress issues from late in 2024 will come back from April, May, and June. As this happens, you can inject more passion, more energy, those reels on Instagram, more passion, more energy, more motivation, more assertiveness, more confidence into your relationship world. This could be your personal, this can be your professional, and could be just with other people in general. When you take confidence, when you take action, you can reignite a spark in a long-standing relationship or an existing relationship that may have potentially shown signs of diminishing late last year, in 2024. You can spice things up, invigorate things, keep things fresh, keep things exciting. That's what Mars can do in the 7th house. If you're single, this might give you the desire and the motivation to go and find somebody new. Now, speaking of relationships, you'll also have Uranus moving into the 5th house from July to November. So as it leaves your home and family environment, it's going to visit your 5th house. It'll go back to the home and family environment. So this is going to be an introduction into the next 7 years of what joy, happiness, fun, frivolity, creativity, joy, all these sorts of things, what they're going to mean for you and how they're going to change over the next 7 years. So questions to ask yourself in 2025, particularly between May and November, what makes you happy? Well, this is what you've got to find out. So you need to adapt a curious attitude, an experimental attitude, and be open to anything that's new, fresh, different, novel. That's what you really need to do in 2025. I really do encourage the concept of flexibility, being open, being not stuck on things, not relying on the past with things. Try new things. Uranus is electric. It brings sparks. It brings joy. So you're not going to get that if you're just doing same old, right? So really, this is a journey for you in 2025 about embracing the happiness within. So in terms of the sort of relationship setting, so it's a little bit of a throwback to the Mars cycle, the longer term relationships, if they've grown a little stuck or stagnant, which they can do, Uranus is going to invite the prospect of play, of frivolity, of spontaneous excitement between you. So this might mean you have to take your special someone by surprise on occasion, do something different, do something out of the norm. If you're single, well, sitting at home in your pajamas, scrolling through Instagram is probably not going to find you the person that you're looking for. So you may be open to meeting someone new, and you may find them in the least expected place, and it could be the least expected type of person. Now, this part of the sky also is where we find children. So you might find changing attitudes, changing rhythms and routines, changing logistics around children. So you might find that there's sudden developments regarding children, a sudden change to their rhythms and routines that you have to sort of navigate next year. This could be children who are your own. This could be a new partner that may have children. This could involve grandchildren. If it's not about kids, it could be younger people in general. Okay. Now, this area of your life is already being primed somewhat. Jupiter in Gemini since May of 2024 will be there until June 10. So this area of your life is already expanding and growing, and you're learning to adapt, to be more curious and more open. Now, all of these new experiences that you're getting now, all this new information that you're learning, Jupiter is going to help encourage you to gain wisdom, to gain insights, and to gain experience about, the changes, about joy, about love, about pleasure, about your creative life, the things that put a smile on your dial kind of thing. And so, if you can embrace that, find that the high tide rises boats area in that. If you can go with the flow, more the merrier, increase the joy, then it will be easier for you to navigate some of the disruption and the change that Uranus will bring. If you can adopt an attitude of excitement as opposed to feeling overwhelmed or daunted by the combination of planets that are happening in your birth chart next year, that there's so much more happier that you will be. So again, instead of I know, what if, instead of why is this happening to me, ask yourself, why is this happening for me? So being open, being curious, being accepting, being willing to change, opening your mind, not being stuck and rigid in the way that you think that things should be. And then the sky will provide the right conditions so you can see life how it could be. I hope that's helped you. Yeah, it's a big one for Aquarius risings, and I really look forward to hearing more about how these transits manifest for you. And of course, if you would like more personal insight into how all of this is going to play out for you, there's a link below in the description box where you can book a reading as well. I hope you enjoyed this. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, do the things, and I'll see you in the next video.